Hey, Dad, just so you know, I've fallen in love with this alien
I was thinking the same.
called Blue Gom 7. And they don't really marry on Mars. They just we upload our consciousness into the same hive mind. Like, Dad, get with the times. Stop living in the past.
Hello, hello, hello.
Kia ora, Ayubowan. Welcome back to the studio.
Welcome back to the podcast, which is
Sorry, Amma.
I Married a Kiwi.
There we go.
Surprisingly, we recorded it 3 times.
It took 3 takes to get that. We hope you enjoyed the final product. Intro completed.
That's the best we could do today. Why is that? Because we're just like recording the podcast. I mean, not that I'm saying today is the only day that I had an excuse, but today we have a special excuse.
What's our excuse for?
Recording last minute.
Okay, well, they wouldn't actually know that, and we're just going to out it ourselves.
Oh, I mean, I like to be honest and open,
Okay.
but though people's...
And tell us, Amasha, why? Why would you do this?
Why am I doing this? Okay, so my parents are coming to visit us in New Zealand.
What? That's crazy. I can't believe you didn't tell me this.
Uh-oh. Spoiler?
Okay.
It's a spoiler, and it's just like, oops to the daisy, Sam.
That's right, you heard right, listeners. Amma, and Tata, the Tata, are coming to New Zealand.
Yeah.
This is speaking in the present. They are coming December 2025.
Yes, they're going to be coming here very soon. They will be joining us to celebrate Christmas and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a lot of planning at work and on the go. And we're just like making sure there's enough pillowcases and...
Because it's not just them, it's also their best friends who are coming.
Yeah, so, and just reminding you guys, we just bought our house. So it's just... Yeah, we were putting things in place for 2 people to live in, and then now on top of that, we are having 4 more people coming to stay with us, and including Sammy, it's going to be 5 more people. So we were trying to get the maximum out of the Labor Day weekend. So we were just like running around trying to get stuff done.
And I can't remember if we mentioned that Sammy was going to be living with us, Amasha's little brother, Mully, and then he suddenly got an amazing job opportunity in Christchurch. So basically we'll be using our 2 rooms as guest rooms, and Sammy will be coming back to join us, but he gets the couch.
Well, that's what he gets.
Unfortunately, he gave up his opportunity.
Yep, he lost his room, so...
He did push us into getting the giant TV, though, and he'll get to be sleeping in front of it. So I'm sure it's all worked out. That's what they call the circle of life. That's
something for the one pro for him for sleeping on a couch is that it's like he has his giant TV that he made us bought and then left.
Oh my god, our lives are so hard. Stop pushing us to buy these large luxury items.
Ooh, I sound very luxurious. Privileged.
But we are very excited. It's like when we go to Sri Lanka, it's amazing, and the whole family just plucks us up and we just go on a road trip across the country. But we're just finding it's a bit more difficult to organise that in New Zealand, where things cost an enormous amount, and it's a bigger country too. If you actually, you can Google one of those websites where you can compare the actual size of countries, and you put Sri Lanka on top of New Zealand and realise how tiny Sri Lanka is compared to it.
I think from my memory it's like 5 times smaller than New Zealand.
It's like a drop in the North Island.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you think of them both being like small island nations, but
that's what you think in the head, and especially given Sri Lanka has around like 20 million people living in the tiny nation, and we have only like 5 million. So we have the double, like in New Zealand we have like 5 times smaller amount of people for 5 times bigger amount of land. But yeah, it is. So after probably 5 to 6 years, I'm feeling how hard it is to plan when when the family is coming to stay, because every time until now, I'm the one who goes to Sri Lanka, and then they just like organize everything, and I'm like a
Passenger princess.
Yep, I just sit down, somebody takes me somewhere, like there's food and you eat it, and then you just like live a little bit of a whimsical life. But this time around, I am just like booking the tickets, and then like booking for like making sure the visas are done, and then like booking for accommodations for 7 people. Just imagine in New Zealand. So not easy, guys. Life is hard right now.
We're also trying to buy all the things that a house should have that we've only still been kind of gathering together.
Yeah.
But today we bought outdoor furniture for the deck.
Oh, Sam is like just flying right now, flying high.
I think I've peaked because it's just the comfiest couch, and I'm just going to be reading my book out there in the sun, and I'm just going to be on a vacation in my own little world. It's been a good day.
Oh my God, you're showing our age by just like talking about the excitement of just like going to Bunnings and then buying outdoor furniture, or like looking around outdoor furniture and then going to Briscoe's and like
people don't appreciate that Bunnings isn't just a hardware store. It has a cafe, it has a playground.
Okay,
it's a great time.
You're sounding older by the second. So by now you're like 60
Not if I play on the playground, I'm not. So we're very excited that they're coming, and we have less than a month now. Oh, exactly a month.
Exactly a month.
They're coming on 27th of November.
Yeah, it's exciting. Oh my God,
really
we're telling too much information, but that's okay. Don't tell anybody.
Guys, don't tell anybody. So we've kind of entered the part of our saga, which was, I don't want it built up as being dark and bleak, because it wasn't. We were finally like reunited, which was amazing. We got to have time to actually, be together and explore our relationship and find out more.
We're just like jumping back into the story right now.
I was just trying to contextualize from, like, we're here in the future, and I'm trying. This is the happy ever after, but it was hard fought for. Let it be known, or there'd be no podcast.
What are we going to be talking about? Oh yeah, I told my parents. They're like, oh yay, you finally found somebody. Please get married.
And that's the end of the one and only episode of Sorry Amma.
Well, that's not what happened.
I married a Kiwi. You're welcome.
Phew.
I'm sorry, before I went back into the past, did we want to talk more about the parents coming?
No. I was just I just wanted to make sure where we are right now.
Okay, we have gone back into the past until 2023.
Right.
Yep.
Do you want to do your sound?
Oh, what was it? It was whoa, 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 whoa. Time travel. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello, listener. You're now in 2023.
Okay. So now, what happens?
So we got to, have that time together, which was really amazing. We both got new jobs on the same day, which was great.
Pretty great.
But we also, we were kind of unsure about what the process would be, if there was one, of convincing Amasha's parents to be open to a weird, quirky Suda guy courting her daughter.
From the other side of the world. I think we were thriving on uncertainty at the time, right? I don't know if it's thriving, but that's all we could do.
Amasha also needed to find somewhere new to live. I don't think we talked about that last time.
No, I explained this. Whenever I go to Sri Lanka for a significant amount of time, in my case a month, I always just pack my life thinking like, ooh, when I come back, it's a new place, new life, new beginning, and a
new me.
And a new me and new friends. So this time I did the same. So when I come back, I had to find a place.
Yeah.
And I found a great place. How did I find a great place, Sam? You helped me there, which is very
I'd gone to an author conference and met like this incredibly successful best-selling author, and then I was like, messaged her, I'm like, hi, can my girlfriend live with you? Was I allowed to call you my girlfriend by that point?
I don't know.
Were we still yo-yo casual?
How dare you call me your girlfriend, huh?
I don't want to step on any toes. That was just a very hilarious situation. So Marsha ended up moving in with this successful author who I wanted to get to know better so I could take all of her authorly secrets.
So this is your plot?
Yes, you were my sleep agent.
Right, I'm the sleep agent. Okay, I didn't know about this.
It's like a spycraft thing.
who had no idea about fantasy books. Only very recently, guys, I found out that if it is purple, that's the signature color of fantasy books. I'm
it's
very proud.
urban fantasy.
I
T,
knew
like me,
so-
writes urban fantasy.
Yeah, so we went to the Armageddon last week, which was, again, amazing. We're not going to get into that, are we? No.
I think we've got too many tangents already going on here.
No, so I was very proud that I spotted one of the bookstores and I looked at it, it was like very purplish and I was like, okay, I know this is urban fantasy. Sam was talking to an author at the time and I was like, I want to tell Sam, it's like, ooh, I know my book colors now.
So urban fantasy is when fantasy is like set in the modern world. So you have modern buildings, but there's also, vampires and elves running around. It's my rough approximation. Sometimes you have like a young woman with supernatural powers that she discovers. She has a sword. She kicks butt. Kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I have watched it. But anyways, I want to give a quick shout out. Sam just released his second book of his new series. Woohoo! Give it a big round of applause for our Sam.
Thanks,
Blood,
everybody.
the author.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we were just here the other day talking about the book 1 releasing on the podcast as you all listened.
I know. This is so exciting, Sam. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really, really good. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's funny doing a digital launch because it's just me and Amasha sitting in a house. The party is online.
Yeah, party's going on online, all right. So congratulations. I'm very, very, very proud of you.
Thank you. I was too scared to read my advanced reviews from my wonderful advanced reviewers. Mm-hmm. So I sat down and Marsha had to read them to me.
Yeah, Sam was like, please ignore anything that is a downer. I don't want some negativity right now.
I can't take it.
Sam was like, he's not gonna look at it or anything, but he's like, I don't want to look at it now. I'll look at it later, but can you please read it? And I started thinking like, okay, I'll skip the ones that are bad, but there was nothing bad. Even so, you had only 5 stars and 4 stars, and even the 4 stars, when I was reading them, I was thinking to myself,
why didn't you give them 5 stars? What's wrong with you?
No, I mean, the comment is like, oh my God, this is just so crazy. Like, oh God. And I was like, if it's that good, why it's a 4-star, man? Give a 5-star. What are you keeping it for?
I appreciate that. I feel like you didn't need to reply to their review with that, but no, I would still appreciate it.
I don't think I'm going to go that far. They would backtrack. It's like, oh, that's the wife. Oh, she's crazy.
So that's A Princess So Noble and Vengeful, book 2 in the Counterpart Academy series. Point being that T, the friend who I met at the author conference back in 2023, was also an urban fantasy author who had done incredibly well. She was also in a cross-cultural relationship.
That was a big part of our journey, right? We had the example of they're not in our ages. They're a little bit older than us, and so the guy is a Kiwi, and then the author friend that you met, she's a South Asian woman as well. So seeing them, how beautifully they navigate their relationship, actually gave us a lot of hope. And the author friend became, I'm going to call her by name. T became like a second mother to me. I had a lot of mothers in New Zealand, just FYI.
They just flocked to you.
When we saw her in Armageddon, she was like, when your parents are here, I would love to meet your mother. Because, the second mother has to meet the first mother, right? The actual one. She was laughing.
Armageddon is a big geek convention. I don't know if we've given context to that. It's the...
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's important, yeah. Hey, I have become a geek now. I know what Armageddon is, and I'm expecting everybody else to know what Armageddon is.
It's like the Comic-Con of New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. So... Oh, what happened to me? I would have been explained Armageddon as the first person.
And Marsha's constantly asking, how did she become a geek? How did she get sucked into this?
Oh, dear. So, any hoopsies, it was really nice that every time I had a bad time of how to navigate the relationship with a Westerner or from a different culture, and then I would go home and I have T, Sam's author friend, who became like a very, very close sister, mother person to me, and I would just constantly talk her ear out, explaining how sad it is, how hard it is, I don't know what to do. And then she would have so much wisdom that she departed. And she's like, you know, you can handle this. That's how the parents are. And for the fact that she's South Asian as well, she had a very good understanding within the culture. So she would bring so many different draw a lot of experiences from her own experiences, or like her family or her culture that she has witnessed growing up. So she would use them to make sure I am okay. And then it's like, you're not the first person to go through this, and it's okay. And then things would come around, and this is how you have to work on it, and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's always very important to share your experiences rather than just act like everything is like pretty peachy, which is what a lot of social media does, which kind of make it feel like the person who are actually going through it to feel like, why am I the only one who's going through this?
Because the start of you moving in with T and Carlos, the start of 2023 was the start of a year which was like, I mean, obviously the time in Sri Lanka was bad, but 2023 was a year of like a lot of emotional difficulty, of you kind of calling, liaising long distance back and forth with Amma, you know, feeling stuck, and I'm sure her feeling very stuck in her situation.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, I think neither party knowing, you know, what's the way out of this or what's the way forward.
And we both are very stubborn women as well. Like, neither of my mother or myself, Amma or myself, are ready to give up. Explaining our point of view to the other person, if I say so. So it was kind of like a constant battle of like, I'm trying to tell her my piece and explaining to her like, this is where I am at. Like, please look at it from my point of view, and then try to understand where I'm coming from. And then she's constantly telling me like, you lived in Sri Lanka. You left Sri Lanka a few years ago. Don't act like you have never lived here. Like, why are you acting like this is just so much in the past that you can't even fathom to understand? I'm like, I do understand, but I have changed and I have seen the world, and things are different when you are in a small, I'm not saying New Zealand is not a small island. They're both small islands, but
we're a slightly bigger island.
But I think more than the fact that it's another island, or like I'm in a Western country, I think New Zealand is so multicultural. I think you get exposed to so much in one go compared to Sri Lanka, because obviously it's majority like Sri Lankans, like Sinhalese, Tamils and Muslims, and very few nationalities and religions, but there's no other contexts coming in for you to have a wider understanding in cultural wise, I would say. So you're kind of like stuck in your own mindsets and your ways, and believing that it's the only way to live a life. And
also amplified by the rural thing, right? Like we talked about, like how the rural parts of New Zealand are, you know, still stick to some more like you know, typical ideas of like the male and female roles, which you wouldn't see in the cities as much.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's no difference in Sri Lanka or New Zealand when you're only exposed to your own way of living. You think that's the only correct way of living. So that's the problem in the world in most of the points.
The amazing thing is that T's partner Carlos is like such a funny character, great guy, right? Really charismatic, hilarious. With a joy for life, and a very talented musician.
He is.
But he would...
I love their banter together.
That the house we were in is a beautiful house. Like, it's slightly like older, so like the noise carries, and he would often be working at his desk in the lounge, and he would hear a Marsha kind of on speakerphone with Amma speaking in very passionate Sinhala. Back and forth for hours, which was a regular occurrence at the time, like just going around and round this whole issue. And the way Carlos retells it to us is like he was kind of listening without being able to like fully understand.
Obviously, he can't understand a word.
So he's like, oh, and I'd hear Marsha going, no, and the kind of the tempo kind of rise, and then but then Amma would come in and it's going up and it's going down, and she's making, but she made a good point. Marsha conceded something then. Marsha's paused, but now she's coming back. It's like he could understand the kind of like dueling of like points and debates without like any real context.
Yeah, the way he just explains it, I'm like, how did you, okay, like, because he would be just like, with the tempo, he's just like, okay, so I know, like, after this, like,
As
after
a musician, maybe
minutes,
this is how he's speaking.
probably, like, after a few minutes, Amma's point was made, and then I would just like go quiet a little bit, and then Amma's like, it's just like in her peak of like explaining her point of view, it's like da, 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 and then like then Emasha comes in and then put her point, and then Amma just goes a little bit silent, and then it's like Emasha goes like da, 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 da. I would just like die laughing the way he explains it. And the funniest thing is, like, when we saw him at the Armageddon, so he was there supporting his partner.
We saw him this weekend again, which is lovely.
Yeah, he was like, I really want to see the two of you talking in real life in Sinhalese, so I can just like picture, like, to put an actual picture to what I had in my head.
A lot of people are very excited to see Amma.
Yeah. So he was like, please let us know. We would love to meet them when they're here, so we can finally meet them.
It's so cute.
So yeah, so there was so much, like, whenever it's a hard time, I feel like I'm very, very lucky and fortunate to have people surrounded with me who were very understanding, at the same time very supportive. So a big shout out to them. Yeah. It was our tiny little sanctuary where I was kind of like, take everything in and then just like, okay, let's take a break and then get back to this and then make sure I'm not losing it.
And there was, so I remember one rainy day when I was leaving work at the new job, and there'd been a lot of going back and forth, as Carlos can attest to, with you and Amma. And then that was the day I think I came out and you messaged me and said that Amma had basically called you to say that she'd spoken with Tata again. So I think maybe she'd tried to approach him about this.
Probably for the first time.
Right. So she'd been, I think, maybe building up or trying to find a way to approach it with Tata, who we all expected to be even more
against it.
Because Amma was meant to have been the progressive one who would, you know, kind of been an ally.
Even entertain the idea.
Yeah. So we thought it would be more difficult for Tata to open up to the idea. So that day I was leaving work and you messaged me and said Amma's told me she's spoken with Tata to say, like, you know, that, I guess, I don't know how you say it in Sinhala, you have feelings for, you're intermingled with, there's a connection with a New Zealand boy. But Amma said, Tata said we can't agree to that. Yeah.
I think it was kind of like, okay, I tried to talk to your father. In our family, at least, I don't know if it's how true it is for everybody. I know a lot of my friends who are actually way closer to their mother. So mother is kind of like the bridge between your communication with your father. I don't know whether that's a normal thing in Asian families. Is it? No, obviously it's not normal for you. You're super close to both of your parents, and then you tell anything and everything to them.
I think there's a heightened politics of it, at least in the Sri Lankan context that I've learned about, where, you know, that I guess the father's kind of seen as someone you kind of have to tiptoe around. So the mother's the one who knows how to diplomatically handle the situation. There has to be a relay between members of the family.
I think if you guys remember when I was telling the story of like getting permission to get to New Zealand or to go overseas to study, I had to just ask my father directly, find a time where I can approach him directly, because like, at least in my family, like, you don't just bring up a very heavy topic like that with your father just willy-nilly. Either you need to get mother to approach him first and then like make the scene, make it show like you can now, just like it's the good time, just like bring it up, just like make a conversation now, but not today, like, or probably not the good time today. Try and bring it up again in 2 weeks' time or whatever. So it has been the usual to like have Amma be the spokesperson for us. My father is not like a very rowdy guy or anything. He's a very chill guy. Finally you met him and then you're like, he's a very chill guy. What were you worried about?
It's funny. At this point in the story, like, he's this kind of like, you know, I think they overuse the word nemesis in the show, but he was that kind of like the dark, you know, authority figure who I knew would be like the final boss battle, to speak, you know, lovingly towards your family. He was going to like even like Amma we were already having no idea how to get Amma on board, but once we did that, we were still gonna have to find a way of how to get through Tata. It just shows how like impossible this felt at the time.
What was the picture you had in your head about my father without having any idea?
I think I already knew your family from you talking about them and like the photos I'd seen, the stories I'd heard. Like I knew that Tata was very goofy like my father, and very loving and being a great father in all these amazing ways. And I knew that Amma was like a great character and very much like my mum. Our parents are very weirdly similar.
Very similar.
Hilarious.
So I'm very excited to see them, how they interact finally in like a leisurely environment.
Because seeing them at the wedding was amazing.
Yeah.
But like I already knew that, and I held that in my head simultaneously while, I was trapped in a very difficult situation with these people. Like not like we were locked against each other, because I know like at the same time, Amma was trapped. Amma was like, I have no idea how to sell this concept to Tata. Like she's wedged in the middle as the mum and the relay communicator.
Yeah, she must be like, I don't know how to talk some sense into this girl. Like she's gone completely out of rails now. I don't know how to get her back on track. And at the same time, if she doesn't come back on track, how do I not let her completely go into the wild? I have to have her somewhere.
I was like, why me? Why me? Why do I have to hold this all together? So Herculean feat.
So she must have been even in a harder position than I am in a way.
But that day being told, like I know I kept saying like I didn't want it to be that you had to give up that relationship with your parents to be with me, or preferably that you didn't have to give up me to maintain that relationship with your parents. It had to be both. So for that day to hear, I'm gonna just say I've talked to Tata and we said there's we're gonna say no to Sam. Like, have you told Sam that we've said no? Like, that was such kind of like a final... It was like, at that point, it's like, well, maybe if we wait and date in secret for 10 years, we could try again.
I think we kind of had that plan as well.
That was the plan.
I think, just to give in context, like, again, to relay that my father is not like this archaic man who we don't have a connection and we don't have there's a massive gap between the two of us. We don't see each other or talk to each other or something. Like
That's
I remember
not the case.
That is not the case. And he was a man who, so I started doing like child news reading. I was a news anchor as a child in one of the medias in Sri Lanka, but all media corporations are located in Colombo, and I live in Matara, which is like, at the time we did not have a motorway, so it's a 5-hour bus ride. So this man who works from Matara, another 1.5 away in his shop, he would come home on a Friday night after 5 days being in the shop to the Matara house, and then he would get into a bus because he's like too tired to be driving. So he would get into a bus with me at probably like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning to come to Colombo, which is a 5-hour bus ride, and then sit in somewhere in the media spot around the studio while I finish recording my news anchor, like whatever the show that I was working on, and then would get into a bus again at like probably 7 p.m. at night on Saturday, and then would be on the bus till like 12 o'clock in the morning to get to Matara again, and then he would only have the next day to like sleep it off and then go back off to work. So he's that kind of a person.
Amazing. And that's
he's a very dedicated father. Yeah, he's a very, very dedicated father, and like a very funny character as well. But then I think that's the culture where like you just look at your father to be like, oh my God, you can't, like he's the decision maker, so you can't make him anger him, or like you have to be very delicate.
He's like my dad, and he's actually very goofy. Once you get to know him, you're like, this is an incredibly goofy person.
Yeah.
Because some people meet my dad in passing don't see that side, and same with Tata, right?
I think so. They're very, very funny.
There's another thing I don't think we've talked about is that, like the fact that you call my parents mum and dad.
That is true. We might have to address that.
Because, like, the very
people get confused sometimes. I'm like, why is it so surprising?
Because Amasha got to meet my mum in person briefly before she went to Sri Lanka, and like she was like, what do I call your mum? I'm like, well, just call her Sylvia. And she's like, I can't do that. That would be like hugely insulting.
That's so not okay to call your partner's parents by their name. I'm so sorry. Anybody who, like everybody, like from the Western cultures, I don't know how you guys do it. I can't make myself do it.
What we have here is another funny culture clash going on, because I was like, what is, I should be confused if you called her something other than Sylvia. But obviously, like you'd say Amma in that context.
I would.
Right? But,
so technically in Asian cultures, your partner's parents are your parents. You take care of them, you respect them, you honor them equally. So there's no difference.
But obviously it was a bit too soon for everyone, probably including my mother, who was
I know.
just meant you to be called
It was
mum.
very sweet of them that they allowed me to do that, because for them, they must be like, what is wrong with her? You're not my child.
There was a really sweet moment when we were out for coffee, when I think that conversation finally came up after, I don't know, you'd avoid trying to address mum directly by a name for months.
I was just like, oh, hi, hey.
Hey, you. And when I think I talked to mum about it too, so I think she probably had time as well to get around that, because she thought, she'd had one child and that was enough. Never thought she'd get other children.
Now she has me, not just me, like Sammy and my older brother, they all call him mum too.
We're just multiplying, crawling out of the woodwork. So yeah, it was at that coffee hangout the three of us had, where I think you finally had that conversation and you were like, is it okay? And mum's like, yeah, that's okay. And you got up and hugged, and it was so beautiful.
I know, it was so sweet.
Like, you can call me mum.
I think it was the same with Dad. Like we were dancing around it for a while, and then you explained it to him, and I was very shy about it, because knowing the cultural context, I mean, not that I wasn't aware of the fact that I can't randomly start calling Sam's parents mum and dad. I knew that's not the culture. So I was like, I will just avoid calling them by their name. I would say anything but the name. So I was dancing around it, and they just were very graceful, and then they loved. I think they like it, or at least they tolerate it.
No, I think they love it. They love it now, and it feels really special for me, I guess, to hear you call them mum and dad, because it's like I grew up, as an only child. Obviously, I have a brother now, Jack, but there was a big age gap, so I grew up feeling like I was the only child who was there to, look after the two of them. So to have you and Sammy as well, like both call them mum and dad, and also you just have an amazing relationship with them. Like,
yeah,
Dad comes out of his house and like hugs, all of us like the kids coming home. So it just feels so beautiful to have other people who love them as much as I do. So it's great.
I mean, they're very easy to love. So
I know, right? And same with Amma and Tata, that I get to, call them that and have that relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
So, summarise where we were at. So, I got the texts from Amasha and instantly got on the bus and went over to T's house. And you were there on the couch, like really upset with T. She was doing an amazing job being there for you.
Yeah.
I can't remember like the exact words that were said. Like I just remember, the sensation of arriving into that and trying to hug you and make it better. But I guess at the same time there was that huge uncertainty of where do we go from here?
Yeah. I think what I was told is that, look, I tried. So my mum is like, okay, I tried to understand your perspective and I tried to make my peace with it. And then I tried to go to your father, but he said like, no, it's just, what, are you kidding? It's never going to happen. That never has happened before, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he wanted to entertain the idea either. So it was kind of like, it's kind of like a phase, she's going to get over it sort of thing. Probably that's what they thought. So she relayed that to me, and by this point, I think I was definitely like, okay, I know I can't change them overnight, the way they're thinking, because as I said, when you're exposed to only one culture, the way of living is only one that you have been seeing constantly, daily. That's what you think you're right. There's no wrong about it, and then why would you question it? So when somebody else is questioning or like try to do a different way, it becomes like, oh my God, what is it? So I don't blame them, and it is just like, obviously I would I would be, if I was to be put in a position like as a parent, I would struggle with it, I'm pretty sure. So Sam and I think we were like, okay, what do we do about this? I think we joked about this before, and we actually were like, should I get married to somebody that they find and then like divorce him, because if it's not going to work for sure, and then like come and find you or something like that. Or the next idea was that, okay, let's just, let's keep it quiet. Let's just chill for like 10 more years. And then finally they're like, oh my God, she should be in an age where she should be a grandmother. So let's just like, what the hell?
I'm just wondering like how this is going to come back to bite me if I end up in like an Amma situation one day where my kid comes home. They're like, hey Dad, just so you know, I've fallen in love with this alien.
I was thinking the same.
Called Blue Gom 7. And they don't really marry on Mars. They just we upload our consciousness into the same hive mind. And I'll be like, he'll be like, I talked to your father, and he can't really get his head around it.
He's like, oh, that's a phase. She will get over the alien.
Like, Dad, get with the times. Stop living in the past.
Oh
like,
God,
Amma,
this is just so good.
Amma, I understand completely where you were coming from now.
Maybe the karma will come back to bite us.
That's
Who knows?
karma. It's karma right there.
Okay.
Ayo.
I think on that note, we should stop for today.
This is the weirdest note we've ended on. We hope you enjoyed that episode. We've got we've got a lot of light laughs next time to come back from this one.
Okay.
Like the time I had to drive a Marsha to the hospital. I don't think we've told that one yet.
Yep, I think we need to tell that story. And then...
Or the one that you said, let's go donate plasma. It will be fun.
And then was it fun?
Sam got a chocolate biscuit. And Marsha did not have a good time. But more on that later.
Alrighty, peoples.
Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.